Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Pixel Current stream. Tonight we're going to be playing a game published by Electronic Arts called King's Bounty on the Sega Genesis. Those familiar with King's Bounty should also be familiar with other games such as Heroes of Might and Magic. This game was also re-released on the PS2 as Heroes of Might and Magic Quest for the Dragonbone Staff. Now, we have the Knight, the Paladin, the Sorceress, and the Barbarian. The only difference in these four classes are what exactly they get to start with. So, the Knight is the highest paid starting class. It takes longer for him to promote, and he starts out with decent units. I believe it's archers and militia. The Paladin is the same as the Knight, except the Paladin will have slightly more spell power. The Sorceress starts out with magic. She has the weakest starting units, and her leadership will never be high enough to maintain massive armies. So she's a little bit of a hard mode character. The Barbarian, my personal favorite, takes a bit to promote, but he starts out with really great units, and all around he's just a great character to play. His units actually get a, to my current knowledge, they get a boost because he is the main character, so they get a boost in attack damage. But for tonight, we'll go ahead and we'll play the Knight. Now, the difficulty in days is really something that not many people pay attention to, because this game's not really that difficult. You don't need that many days, really. But if you're not really good at puzzle solving or remembering chunks of places you visited, then you probably would need that many days. Easy mode is, as it says, it's easy. The enemy groups are really tiny. They don't really do much damage, and mostly it's geared for the casual player. Normal mode is normal. I mean, there's nothing too special about it. Hard mode, it's not really all that difficult per se. The actual I believe it's the treasure placement is a little difficult, and the enemy groups are a little harder to deal with, so you can't just face wreck anything by buying 200 militia, for example. And tonight we're going to be playing on Impossible. Impossible's pretty hard. I've played it numerous times, but I'm going to show you tonight how we can quick clear this game, so it doesn't take very long. So when you start out, see, this is why Impossible's weird. This will never happen. It's never supposed to happen. The very fact that giants are here out the gate is an anomaly. Those don't appear till way later in the game. So here you got your standard controls. Searching the area is what you do because you are on a quest to find the Scepter of Order that the Dragon Lord has taken and the king has fallen ill. Now, waiting for the end of the week, the only thing that does is 1 week goes by in game, you pay off your army what you owe them, and you get your salary, which you increase via capturing villains and or distributing wealth to the common folk and whatnot. Contract information: if you see the square in the upper right hand corner of the screen, that black square is where your contract will go. You get contracts in towns for finding villains that have pieces of the puzzle, and we'll come down here and we'll go ahead and I'll show you guys the puzzle. Now, aside from artifacts, which are self-explanatory, each one of those characters that has an animated GIF portrait going on, those are your main villains. So, and each one of them has done something different. If you decide to check out the game, go ahead and read their bios and check it out for yourself. The music that's playing right now that you're hearing does not go with this game because this game's music is god-awful, and I wouldn't subject you guys to that. Magic's pretty awesome. Building a bridge, when I was a kid, you don't really want to mess around with the bridge too much. You get stuck very easy. This is one of those games where if you mess up, you will seriously be stuck there till the end of time, which is game over. Time stop will freeze every single enemy on the map from moving for X amount of time, and your weeks will not go down. Find villain. Your villain's castle is unknown. So, I mean, when you use that spell, it'll tell you what castle they're in, and that's if you're too lazy to go to the town and use gather information, because nothing's really hidden in the game per se. And Castle Gate, whatever castle you visit, you can use that and teleport right back to it. Again, you should be careful with that, because if you teleport to a castle that's nowhere near a town, or you teleport to a castle that's waterlocked or completely locked out from the rest of the map, then you're stuck there until game over. Your instant army spell, oh, I skipped the spell. Your town gate spell, same thing, probably one of the safest spells you can use. It'll teleport you to any town, anywhere, and since every town's by a body of water just about, you can go ahead and grab yourself a boat and you'll be on your merry way. Instant army spell, that's the spell you have to be the most careful with, because it'll give you troops. I know what you're thinking, free army, awesome. No, it's really meant to be used sparingly. The only way it increases in potency is when you actually promote your character's class. So when they're in the final tier that they can be, is when you get the most bang for your buck out of the instant army spell. Now, raise control is also important for anybody that's wanting to use instant army. You need to go ahead and invest in raise control spells as well, because you will find, which I'll go over in 2 seconds, that if you don't have control, your army will be out of control and they will turn on your units and kill them. Now, combat spells. Clone. Clone will work on just about any character. You can clone anywhere between 1 and 4 additional units. It will not work on dragons. Dragons are spell immune. Teleport. Teleport will teleport 1 unit on any aside, yours or the enemy's, to any location you want to on the map. Yet again, dragons are immune. Fireball, self-explanatory. You can cast a fireball. Lightning's the same thing. Freeze will paralyze an enemy dead in its tracks, so it's pretty much never going to move. Resurrect. Resurrect is a spell that I find to be the most worthless, because it doesn't resurrect enough for it to matter. The most I've ever seen resurrected is 3 units. Now, Turn Undead's an interesting spell, because the only thing that'll work on is ghosts, ghosts, vampires, skeletons, and zombies. That's about as far as you're going to get with that. Really potent, though. Worth using. Now, let's go ahead and look at our character. So when you check out the character, you got your minor portrait. You know, it tells you your rough stats. The 8 blank squares that have other squares leading down to them, those are where your artifacts will go. Each one of those does something extravagant for your character, and I recommend you find them all. It is worth your time, ladies and gentlemen. Find all the artifacts. In the bottom right, you have maps. There are 4 continents in this game. There's Continentia, which you start out on, Forestria, which is Continent 2, Archipela, which is Continent 3, and Saharia, Continent 4. And their names are really funny and ironic at the same time, but we'll cover that when we get there. Now we'll go look at our army. Now, your army is what you'll fight with. You can have a maximum of 5 units. Every unit in the game does something different. I believe there's 3 or 4 different archer type classes, 3 or 4 melees, 3 or 4 spellcasters. Actually, there's more melees. I've never actually used all the units because a lot of them aren't worth using. But what I want to show you is the morale. If you look at the morale, you'll see Norm, and on the very bottom, the giants we just got on the first continent are out of control. That is because their total, I believe it's their total cost, like everything about them has gotten it so we cannot control them at all. And since we have no raise control spells at the beginning of the game, we are completely screwed right now. So if we get into combat, they're going to turn on us. But here's what we do. Come down to dismiss army, get rid of them. I know what you're thinking, awesome giants, but you don't need them. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come down here and you're going to want to rent a boat. And get yourself a new contract. The contract will tell you exactly how much gold you're going to get. It'll tell you the crimes. But what I wanted to look at is that last scene and the castle. Now, the last scene, he was on last scene on Continentia, and that's where you'll find him. He is hidden on this continent. Now, if you don't have a contract when you lay siege to a castle for a particular villain, they get to run away. They get set free. So that's why it's important to pay attention to the last scene, because you'll know what continent they're on in case you mess up. And the castle's unknown because they don't know where he's at. Now, if you come down here to gather information, like see, Castle Vutar is under Baron Jono McHale's rule. And it'll tell you, so when you go into your contracts, you go find this guy, you go to that castle, and then you get to fight him, and it'll tell you what his army is. I believe it goes all the way up to a multitude. No, I think it's a thrall or a horde. It's one of the two. But so that's how you find out how many enemy units your army's rocking. You can buy siege weapons right now or later. I like to save my gold for units. I'll show you why. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and start exploring. Now, when you come across treasure chests, there's treasure chests, like, see this one right here, we found a mineral deposit, so we can go ahead and give it to the king, and it's going to increase our income by 25. So for every week that goes by, you get an additional 25 gold. Now, when you look at the, like, there's enemies that are randomly on the screen as you're going by. Now, if you've played it as many times as I have, and you remember where every single treasure chest is at, you'll be able to tell which enemies are friendly that'll join you and which ones that actually want to fight. So, I mean, this is really rare. We got dwarves and giants within the first 5 minutes here. So going along. So now these random little things that look like dungeons right here, they're not dungeons. Well, they are and they aren't. Like, when you go into it, it is a dungeon, but there's themed recruits that you can get. In the dungeon, you'll be able to find skeletons, vampires, ghosts, zombies, and did I miss one? Demons. Did I say demons? Not entirely sure, but demons are in there too. Now, when a week goes on, you'll see here it'll say Week of the Ghost. Now, Week of the Ghost is hilarious for people that actually manage to contain ghosts. Ghosts have a special perk. Whenever they do damage to enemy units and kill them, they add that number of enemies killed into their ranks. So ghosts get out of control really fast. But if you have ghosts in your party when the Week of the Ghost passes, I believe they turn into peasants. And then you just have however many peasants you had in ghosts. So, you know, ghosts are play at your own risk. Now, it'll tell you that the dwellings are repopulated. You're only allowed to recruit so many. There's only so many of every unit that you can have until their dwellings are repopulated. And then it'll tell you, week 1, it'll tell you on hand how much you have. So basically, it's a rough summary of what's going on. But at the end of the week, we still have a balance of 7K. And on the right is your budget. And based upon how many actual individual units you have is what the price will be to carry them. So we'll just move on. What we are looking for is we're going to go treasure hunting here. Okay, this is important. Never, ever, ever take the gold. It is not worth it to you at all. The one thing you want to do is come down here and distribute the gold to the peasants, increasing your leadership. The more leadership you have, the more awesome units you can recruit. You do not want the gold, trust me. If a treasure chest says, I'll give you 10,000 reputation or 200,000 gold, trust me, it's in your best interest to take the leadership, because the gold you will find in more than an abundance. And so we're just going to keep on moseying. We want to avoid all contact right now. We don't want to mess with anything. Let's check on our dwarves here. See, the dwarves are normal. They weren't normal before because we had no leadership, but that tiny little boost in leadership is what really did it for us. So as I'm playing, you'll see me press the C button really fast, and that's because we're just distributing wealth. If anything comes up that's worth talking about, we'll go ahead and talk about that as far as treasure chests are concerned. Now, when they have long text like that, it's usually either... Oh, that's 2 Week of the Ghosts in a row. Wow, elves? Really? Alright, we get us some elves. That elf is another archer class. I'm going to go ahead and mosey on over here. Keep distributing the gold. Tra-la-la-la-la, I've been on the desert in a horse with no name. Yes, our horse does not have a name. You get magic, you'll get spell power, you'll get maximum spell capacity from the treasure chest with long text. That is a not friendly dwarf. Now the trick that you can use is this. You drag them over here, and since they can't cross on any terrain other than flat plain, you can lock them in there and be on your merry way. We are looking for a map to the next continent, is what we're looking for. That is what we want. I'm so glad I decided not to have the actual music for this game playing, because this game's music, once again, is just horrible. For anybody familiar with Friday the 13th on the Nintendo Entertainment System, if you thought that was annoying, King's Bounty's music is right up there. Wow, dual peasants. Both of these are friendly, because there was a treasure chest here and a treasure chest here. So we're going to keep on moseying. Alright. Ooh, Mischievous Imp. Lightning spell. You guys don't really see too much magic. I don't really use too much magic at all. Oh, we got caught. Alright, so the way the combat works in this game, we're going to go down to game controls first, because you want to have the combat delay on 0. That is the fastest you can go in this game. Now, everybody has certain limitations on what they can move and what they can do. If you have archer classes, they can shoot. If you press the C button on them again, you'll get a red targeting reticle here, and you just come on over and you shoot whatever you want to shoot. Everything has various attack powers and special perks. Like, if you look deeper into the game than what's on the surface, you'll find that certain archetypes do better against other ones. For example, dwarves are from the mountain caves. They're stronger against gnomes, which live in the forests, and stuff like that. So they'll get a bonus against the gnomes. But let's say you have 50 gnomes and like 10 dwarves. Yeah, that's just not gonna fly. The advantage you get is small, and it's noticeable if you pay attention to the numbers on your screens, but for the most part you won't notice it, so it's not really worth investing a whole lot of time in. Alright, we won 915 gold. Not very much, but you know, gold is gold. Trust me, by the time I'm done showing you guys the little perks here, gold is going to be out the wazoo. You're going to be like, oh my god, we got so much gold. Yay! Yay, gold. Oh, week of the peasant. More peasants. Alrighty. Now we just got to be careful how we go about going through here. Treasure chest. Come through this way. Another treasure chest. Remember, all you want to do is treasure hunt for the most part. You don't want to get into any conflict that you don't have to. Now these caves, or I should say hills, those funny hills right there, believe it or not, not all of them contain recruitable units. They have some that teleport. So you need to be very careful when going in there, because they can teleport you to places that are crawling with enemies and you will stand no chance. These little wagons, you can recruit like archmages and stuff like that, but not on this continent. The very fact that we found giants is just still surprising me, because they're not supposed to be there. Alright, now this continent map I didn't want to go over earlier because I know it was going to come up when we grabbed a chest, but when you press the C button, if you were to check it normally, the black spots are the spots we have not even touched yet. The little blinky pixel up there on the top is us. But when you get a map that's complete and you press the C button again, it gives you a full-blown map. It's not really detailed, but the big white blocks, those are castles. And the red blocks are various other points of interest, whether it be a town or a recruitment place. So, more minerals, more minerals. We don't need any more minerals. Would really like us to find our map. Would be nice. Now up here I'm going to show you guys this other neat little trick you can do for just in case you ever get yourself stuck to where there's no land for you to dodge on. You can trick enemies using the ocean. and then you're locked away. The enemies can only see so far, so when you're literally out of their view, they're not going to come up and follow you. Now there's one more in here, I think. Yeah, come on. Come on, Mr. Gnome. Come on. Come on. Alley-oop. See, this is where it gets a little tricky. They will probably catch me, but let's see. Up. Nope. Okay, that's not going to work. What we're going to do is we're going to walk the orc down here, and then we're going to bring the gnome up, and then we're going to fall down, and then we're going to come over here. There. Now they're both locked over there. So the treasure hoard that they were guarding is now yours. So enjoy it. You earned it. Moseying on. Now, artifacts you'll find on the floor all the time. Like this one, the Ring of Heroism. I'm not entirely sure what the Ring of Heroism does. I know it says in the manual. I'm pretty sure that my fact checker will look up what the artifacts will do, and we'll discuss them as we get them. So, let's go through here. And we're going to get into combat right now because I messed up. So, and I think this combat we're going to die because there's no way we're going to be able to take on this many units. I mean, dwarves are burly, but let's be honest, they're not all that great. No, that was it. Now, when you die, there's nothing really horrible that happens to you. You get free money and a slap on the hand, and it's like, hey, don't do that again. Disgracing. Okay, now we'll recruit the soldiers here now. You get cavalry on your first class promotion, and you get the knights on your second class promotion. The pikemen are really overpowered, and they're really expensive. Archers aren't worth buying, but for the first continent, if you must get into fights, which we're probably going to have to go find our map, just go ahead and get yourself about 100 of these militia and come down here. Now, every time you respawn, you get peasants. Dismiss them. They're useless. They're not worth using. And here we go. Since there's a lot of fights up here. Now 116 militias. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to, you know, do our thing. Going to mow on over whoever we got to kill, whatever we got to do. You should have absolutely no problem getting your money back that you invested in the militia before the militia become useless. You don't want any less than about 30. 30 is a really good number to have on hand at all times. There's our map. Now we're out of here. There's no need for us to be here anymore. We will come back, but we're going to gun to the next continent. Alrighty, so this is Forestria. Now, Forestria is a big forest. Yep, one gigantic forest. And we'll do the same thing here. We're going to look for a map to the next continent, because that's the map that we need. Now, where we're going to find it, I don't know, but we'll see. The Ring of Heroism that we just picked up not too long ago adds to leadership and supposedly gives good luck. Luck in this game, if any stat would bear if your allies would crit. You don't get to see the crit. You get to see the crit in later editions of the game, such as the one on the PS2. You'll actually see that whether your dragons or your demons do critical damage, but on this Genesis port, you will not see that. Ah, the Anchor of Admiralty. And we will get you a description shortly with that. The Anchor of Admiralty lowers the cost of renting a ship from 500 a week to 100 a week. You get a surplus of 400 extra gold, which, by the way this game's weeks go, is quite a bit of money. Alrighty, let's see. What do we got here? Distribute. Yay, we get our spell power increased. Come around on this side over here. distribute. There's our map to Archipela. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to gun out of here. We're going, and we're gone. Now, I just want to go ahead and mention to everybody that I do not know where the maps are, because every time you start the game again, there's so many algorithms that go into random placement that you'll never get the same maps twice. Alright, looking for the map to the last continent. That is what we are looking for. No. This might be one of those teleporting ones I was telling you guys about, but let's check it. Yep, we teleported. Teleport back. Which is funny that it teleported us over there, because that's exactly where we're heading here in a second. There's our last map. Now, these mage guys right here, there's a treasure chest where they were standing, so we're going to grab them, and I'm going to show you guys an interesting trick that not a lot of people know about. Oh, I don't even know if it's worth getting them. It's going to be so hard. No, it's not. Hold on. We'll get them right now. There's a reason why we want them. There is a method to the madness, ladies and gentlemen. It is not just because I want awesome purpley looking lightning bolty mage. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go pick them up real quick. Oh, another artifact. The Crown of Command. The Crown of Command. It's actually a pretty nifty little thing. I believe it might increase your leadership. Doubles your leadership. Thank you, fact checker. Doubles our leadership. Alright, the archmages joined us. Now you guys are going to get a kick out of what you can do. Now, the archmages we're only going to use for one thing, because that's all they're good for. We're going to come to the Sahara. Oh, before I get to the Sahara, the Archipela is a series of islands, and I believe they were going for something along the lines of an archipelago, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, the Sahara is based off the Sahara Desert. There are no more continents. This is the last continent for you to be on. Now, you see how slow we're going in the desert? There's no way to increase our speed in the desert on a horse. But certain units in the game, such as vampires, demons, dragons, and archmages, have the ability to fly. If there are multiple units that are big and powerful that have a fly ability, they'll actually be able to carry each other. But seeing as how we only have the archmages in the party, if you press the B button, you get on top of a flying mount. And this is pretty much where you just go and clear out treasure chests and just pretty much do what you want for the time being. What we're looking for is a hill. We want a hill because we, ladies and gentlemen, want to buy dragons. Yes, dragons. And I'm going to show you exactly why we've been distributing all this money instead of taking some of it. Do not get in any unnecessary fights on this continent if you do not have to. The compilation of enemies is ridiculous. Free dragons. This is what we want. Now we can go ahead and dismiss the archmages. We're going to go up and look at our army. 3 dragons. Oh, now that changed. When you look at the morale, certain enemies of certain archetypes get along better. So if you have multiple, well, I should say allies, units that are allied in the hills will have high morale when placed in an army with each other. So dragons, giants, ogres, and dwarves, I believe, will all have a high morale. When you have high morale, it gives the possibility for them to double their attack power, and they'll have higher armor as well. So it's a little bit of a perk for those that care to actually play the game like a full-blown tactic game. This is what we wanted. Now it says that 26 dragons are available. They cost 5 grand each. We can recruit up to 13 because of how much leadership we have. And that is what we're going to do. We're going to keep distributing this because we want more dragons, a lot more dragons. The Amulet of Augmentation. We will have that perk here shortly. The Amulet of Augmentation raises spell power by 5. Believe it or not, that is a huge increase. Okay, well, the only thing we have to do is we have to take a gamble. We're going to gamble on one of these groups of enemies because we need a little more money to get another dragon. And yes, we want another dragon. So did we luck out? Maybe. We'll have to see. We might just die here. And there is no... Yeah, we died. The impossible difficulty has made it so our dragons are like, oh no, don't hit us. So we're probably going to do... Well, now that we're behind, we're just going to have to come in here and we're going to have to find that group of archmages that was floating. But we're sticking to what we said. We are not taking the money. Archmages. Great. Dismiss. Peasants. And let's see how much money we have. View character. We have 11,000 gold. That's worth 2 dragons. Just 2. You know, we might have to invest a little bit to get this going. We're going to have to see. Going. Scouring for free dragons, possibly, because it'd be nice. Usually you don't get chances again when it comes to stuff like that. You know, if you passed up, or not passed up, but if you lost your free dragons, that's usually all there is one group of free dragons. I've never seen any more than one group. How many archmages we have? 9. We might be able to get away with it. Let's see, where's that giant we were fighting? Here he is. There's 1 dragon in there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go get the other dragons to kick that one particular dragon's ass. Without it, we will die. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about that. So we'll go ahead and recruit 2 dragons. We're going to come up here and we're going to fight this giant again. And hopefully we kill it this time. So archmages fly. We're going to go ahead and use their shoot. We're going to blast the druids because druids hurt. We're going to come over here and we're going to start laying siege to that dragon. Archmages have to come over here and get involved in the fight. I don't like getting the mages involved in the fight because it's entirely too risky. And I don't know why this one dragon has the most resilience in the entire world right now. There we go. Going, 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 going. Wow. Well, unfortunately for us, I've never seen that happen. And I think we might actually game over this time around. Let's see how many puzzle pieces we have. I might know where that's at. We don't want to take too many chances. So, since we're that far along, we're just going to have to mosey and defeat enemies, dare I say, the normal way. Actually, we might not even have a choice. We might have to go ahead and wait some weeks and increase our gold stock. So let's see. Wait to the end of the week. Wait to end a week. Yeah, we're gonna have to play this game real clutch. We got 90 days left to do this. So we're gonna come up here. Let's see, 100 should be 5,000 gold. Yep. So we'll get another 100. So that's another 5,000 gold. And then, so that's all of our gold. That is it. And we're going to rush over here as fast as possible because we don't have any money to pay our militia. And if you don't pay your militia, well, they're going to leave. And we don't want that. So now that we're here, we got the contract, lay siege to the castle. I really didn't want to do it this way. There. 4,000 gold. Got our guy. And another piece of the puzzle. Let's see what else we got going on. Princess Aim Ola. Let's see, what are we at? We are at 10,000 gold, and the week's just about to end. For the person that just joined us, there is no music for the King's Bounty game. It is instead a separate soundtrack because I am not going to subject the viewers to that ridiculous monotony. Just not going to do it. Actually, you know what, everybody? We're going to go ahead and try this my way. Do or die. We're not even going to bother getting back in that same battle again. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to recruit another type of flying unit, and we're just going to go ahead and do this the way that I wanted to do it. Probably be in our best interest to grab vampires, because vampires' special perk in combat is they regenerate. If you manage to kill units with the vampire will gain back life equal to the units killed, a fraction of the units killed, but never exceed what the maximum amount of army was upon entering combat. So that's the biggest thing right there to note. The week's about to end again. Moseying on through. Flying unit right, demons. Demons are okay to own too. Demons will actually they have the ability to cut whatever fighting force that you're going up against in half. They will just cut it in half, period, no matter how strong it is. Even dragons, which is why they're the most potent unit in the game. Nothing is immune to demons. Nothing. So now that we got a flying unit, we're going to come over here and we're going to go ahead and go get artifacts that we're missing. There are 2 artifacts per continent. And unfortunately, from the water position, you cannot turn into a dragon and fly around. You have to be on land. But once you're on land, you're home free. Alright, land. Let's do this. We need the artifacts. Those are free trolls. We don't want them. We're just looking for... Oh, we got a complete map. That's always nice. Those are free barbarians. We don't want them. The Book of Necros. Not entirely sure what that does. Actually, I've never been sure what that does. And I believe that was the Book of Necros doubles our spell limit. So for everybody out there that's interested in spamming spells left and right, that is the artifact you need to find because it'll double your spell limit, which is important. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and come to Forestria, because I know we're missing artifacts here too. Free dragons, no way, on continent. Alright, we are good to go. It's 1 dragon. But that 1 dragon makes all the difference. Looking for some artifacts. Doo-da, doo-da. Looking for the artifacts. Oh, doo-da-day-dum. See how many we have. We're missing 3. Alright, well now that we have 12k, now we're going to go ahead and come do what I wanted to do. Because in order for us to clear this game in time, it's going to be down to the wire. Like, I am sweating bullets over here because it's been many years since I've actually game overed on this game. So, 2 more dragons. Come back up here to this guy, and revenge will be sweet. There we go. 3,000 gold. So that's another dragon that we can add to our ranks if we want. One more dragon. So now we have 4 dragons. And if we don't have the money at the end of the week to pay them, they cost 2 grand. And what's our commission a week? 2,632. We will barely afford all of them. So we might have to get in one more fight here to see, to make sure we're going to be okay. For anybody that saw that, the halves that are coming up on screen are the demon's ability going to work. They are cutting armies in half with their demon magics. That could have been the best thing that just happened to us, because I believe we will kill these and get a nice amount of money. 17k is what we needed. So we are going along, going along. we're going to come back over here to the cave, buy 3 more dragons. Now we have 7 dragons. We should be okay for the most part. We're going to test it out right now. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and take our 7 dragons versus the 3 dragons. We're going to go ahead and drop those. And then we're going to do barbarians next. And we'll get a nice amount of money from this too. 21k. That's worth 4 dragons. We're going back and buying more. We can buy 5 because of how much money we had. No, we don't want the trolls. Yes, we're going to fight. Now that we have 11 dragons, we're going to get a couple more, and then we're going to go ahead and just go clear this game. We're going to be done with it. Alright, now we can go... We're going to go ahead and go up 7 dragons, because 7 dragons is going to cost us 9,000 gold. We don't have anywhere near that to keep them sustained very long, so we are getting out of Dodge. We are going right now. Alright, back to the first continent, because we have people we need to pay a visit to. So when you're actually able to fly, another artifact here, the Articles of Nobility. Let's see, who is in this castle? Oh, minor enemy, gotta fight it. Smack, 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 smack. Smack, smack. Nope. Various groups of monsters, we're not interested. Dragons are really expensive, so we need to hurry. We get an additional 2k gold because we found the Articles of Nobility. So, we need the Miser. Come here, Mr. Miser. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to eliminate this castle completely. $27k, we have enough for 3 weeks worth of the dragons. So, various groups of monsters. We are going to hunt everybody down like wild dogs, and we're just going to kill them. Let's see. Dread the Pirate. We're going to mosey on in here. We're going to grab us another contract, and we're going to come down, and we're going to go to this castle after we do this minor inconvenience of a fight. Going on in. Remembering to keep our contracts. And Dread the Pirate is down. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get the... We're not going to get the Baron right now. We're going to go after the Mystic. Kangor the Mystic. And there he is. Alright, 23k and we are gone. We have made 80k so far in just slaying random miscellaneous monsters on top of actually capturing villains. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our last contract for this continent. Oh no, actually she... I forgot we have 2 for this continent. She is up here. We're going to go ahead and take her out. And now we're going to get the Baron. And the Baron is down. And now that we've managed to kill all the villains on the first continent, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go turn them into the king, and we're going to get our promotion. We are now a general. We capture 2 more villains, we'll go up again. But we're not too concerned about that. What we're going to do is we're going to come probably to Forestria here. We're going to look at our puzzle real quick and see exactly where the piece could be, where we need to go. Let's see, so there's a little curve going on. The hardest thing you can ever do in this game is match it. Now, we can just go ahead and stop hunting down artifacts and everything like that, because no matter what, this is the vague piece that you get to work with. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to find well-forested areas with wide openings. The wide opening is your key to solving this particular map. And I think that wide opening is down over here. No, that's not it. That's not it. Nope, that's not it either. And that's definitely not it. Not it. I don't think that's it either. Let's see. No, actually, I think I even know. I think I know where that's at. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bolt down here. We want to go ahead and get to a town as fast as possible. Cancel out your boat. Wherever town you're at, just cancel out your boat and rent a brand new one. That's your best bet to getting to where you need to go.
Hey, Donnie, you guys want to miss one of the puzzle I have out there, dude?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Going. Remember, we need a wide opening. It's probably about as wide as you're gonna get. So you want to make sure you can match it up. But I think this is probably our only bet right here. Funny enough, I'm not sure. We're gonna go ahead and check maybe one more place before we make that investment. Nope. Nope. So our only viable guess is right here. And if we're wrong, well, we game over. So that's all we can really do. Let's see. Nope, that was it. And we cleared it with 20 days left. So that is pretty much the end of that. 20 days left is what we cleared the game with. Our last score is 17,128. If this would have been on any other difficulty, if I would have spent any more time finding the artifacts, that would have pretty much been game over, because if you do not have enough days to search, you will game over. So, and that's it. That was King's Bounty on Impossible. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I will probably redo this again and make it a true speed run, because I can clear this game faster. I spent more time explaining everything to everybody and giving a rough overview of the game. So if you would like, I'm going to start my own speed run video series that will be part of Pixel Current. So, you know, stick around for that. And, you know, just stick around because we have more in our lineup tonight. I'm going to be starting Saint Sword next, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes.